Consider a situation, say maybe in a cafe or maybe in some bus stoppage or somebody, two people met each other and they have started discussion. Say one person is saying, nowadays the children are very naughty, they are very careless, they don't respect elder people and all these things. Now response from the other person may be in two directions. He may be agree with that, he may not be agree with that. And depending on agree and disagreement, discussion will progress. You know, okay. The same is say another situation. Say one person is saying Modi government is not doing anything good for the country. Gas cylinder prices is increased. There is no jobs. There is no industry. Then the second person has got chance or option to agree with that or may not be agree, and depending on that the discussion will go further or it may cut there also. If some person is not agree, then discussion may not go together. So what is that actually? And you will find that either communication will go up in positive direction or communication will there will be cross communication. One person will not like what other person is saying if not agree with his view. This is a subject in advanced communication. This is called transactional analysis. What one person is saying, sometimes we used to say that in my view this is correct, in your view you may be correct. No, it cannot happen technically. If something is correct, then it is correct. Your view is your view, his view is his view, and truth or correctness is somewhere else. So there is a process through which this can be analyzed, who is correct, who is not correct. In transaction analysis, there is nothing that in my view I am correct, in your view you are correct. No. Okay. There are many process like that, scientific process called a vector analysis of transaction and all these things. One of the thing in transaction analysis called ego state. Okay. So I'll discuss today because this is very important. So when some people, a group of people or 1:1 people are communicating each other, and if we are aware of it, then communication can improve actually. Ego state is nothing, it is a mental state basically, nothing to do with the physical. There are three types of ego state is called in transaction analysis. One is called child ego, one is adult ego, one is parent ego. So for child ego, you don't need to be a child. Okay. For adult ego, you don't need to be an adult. It is a mental state. And parent ego, say a 10 years children, they have also a parent ego. And 60 years old person, he or she may have a child ego. So this ego is a state of mind for a particular time when the person is communicating something actually. And in our society there are some kind of this communication, it is now fixed that this kind of communication done by the parents, this kind of communication done by the child. So on the basis, it is basically child ego state, adult ego state or parent ego state. Say for example, parent ego state is basically, say in an office, boss is talking with supervisor, or maybe in a home, parents is talking with the children, or the reverse, children is also talking with the parents, or any situation actually. If somebody is advising you, somebody is criticizing you, somebody is ordering you, somebody is trying to find faults on you, somebody is scolding you, somebody is so these are the indication of the parent ego. Okay, they say following rules, accepts and hold some opinion. These are all these things are parents ego. Now parents doesn't mean that parents are always criticizing, they are always scolding. It's not that. There are parents also have two types actually. One is called a critical parent, they who will always make that you should follow all these things. So these are the things make a lot of rules in life. They are called critical parents. But there are another category of parents. I mean here parents in parents ego state, mental state I am talking about. Some are supportive, protective, helps and guidance. So these are the nurture parents. Adult ego state mean, their understanding level is very good, like fact finding. They are not going by any other things. They will question to get the right things. They will analyze. They will do the problem solving. They cooperate each other. They planning. When you will find this kind of behavior and communication with the people, that means they are in parent ego state, which is very much desirable in organizational or business state actually. And there is another kind of behavior which is called child ego state. Okay, say unnecessarily laughing, crying, frightened for any situation, playing or joyful always, enjoying, dancing, etc., obeying or dependent with somebody. So this is the typical kind of child behavior. But at the same time, in a single person, all the three ego cannot exist together. Only one ego state can be exist together. You'll find many times what happen in offices. Say your boss is talking over phones with, you are maybe discussing with something, you have done something wrong, so you are getting scolding or you are getting a lot of fire and all these things. At the same time, some phone call has come, he has totally change on the phone call and talking in a different way. So this is basically shifting from one ego state. Say from parent ego, when he was or she was discussing with the or the scolding you or advising or something, then he was in a parent ego state. And when the phone call comes, maybe from some customer, maybe from his boss or her boss, then his talking style, tone, everything got changed. They maybe into adult ego state. So this shifting of ego is a skill and is required very much in both the professional life and personal life actually. Okay, so you will find that ego state and there is one thing we need to understand, that I just try to give some examples so that physical stage and ego state understanding. Say one child, so by age 10 years old, so by age he or she is child, and he or she has got some this kind of body language. So this is basically by age he or she is a child, but by ego state he or she is at that time parents. And say in some adult, say 40 years old person, and laughing very or smiling very joyfully or enjoying some situation. So by age he or she is adult, but by mental state at that particular moment is a child ego state. So adult and so we all have actually, all the ego state is required in different transaction in life. But at the same time, the people, it is good to have more child ego state by percentage. Say in a 24 hours time, a person is 20 hours is in an adult mode or parent mode, then other people will not like very much. Or say in an office, one person is every time he is a boss, every time he is in a parent ego state, people will not like him in totality. So depending on situation, you have to shift your ego state, so that because all ego state, because we have a different role in different time with different people, so we need to know how to switch on and switch off from one ego state to another ego state actually. And there are a lot of ways by which we can identify what is the leading or inborn ego state of a person for a particular period of time or ages. What is his leading ego state? Whether somebody is most of the time in parent ego state, whether somebody is most of the time adult ego state or in child ego state. But it is statistically, or the experts says that those who are transactional analysis experts, they said that in life, if you have 10% parent ego, like advising or scolding or guiding people, and 30% is adult ego, and 60% child ego, that will go the best, that will give the best or optimum result, good result. You can be a good person with the maximum people. Actually, people will like your transaction, like your communication and all these things. Thank you so much.